So in a day that has seen plenty of underdog stories in the world of cricket really come to the fore, and you've seen plenty of riveting test action. Of course, you knew that such a day would not have been complete without potentially getting another big breaking news update, and we've joined you with just that. Remember when Sri Lanka were actually suspended, their membership rather was suspended by the International Cricket Council? Well, that suspension has now been lifted by the ICC. That is because we know that the ICC has in fact announced exactly that. In fact, I'll quickly read out what that statement is to you. The ICC have said in a statement, the International Cricket Board has today lifted the suspension of Sri Lanka cricket with immediate effect. SLC was suspended in November for being in serious breach of its obligations as an ICC member, in particular the requirement to manage its affairs autonomously and ensure that there is no government interference in the governance, regulation and or administration of cricket in Sri Lanka. The board have been monitoring the situation since the suspension and are now satisfied that SLC are no longer in breach of membership obligations. You'd remember that SLC's, let's say, suspension had come about immediately after there was a situation wherein the government had basically sacked off the entire board, and everyone who was there had been told to go, and then they put in place some sort of a committee to ensure, try and regulate, or try and investigate into what exactly was going wrong in the running of Sri Lankan cricket. After that, ICC took a little bit of a, let's say, there was some concern on that situation, because of course thereafter there was feeling that ICC, that SLC were in fact not being run in an autonomous manner. Now ICC regulations state that that autonomous manner means that there should be no kind of governmental interference, that there should be no kind of third party interference, and that Sri Lanka cricket or any other, let's say, cricketing board be run by the elected members and not by anyone else. Obviously Sri Lanka cricket were in breach of that, but the ICC have been observing what changes they have been making to the way they run the sport and the way that the board in that particular country is run, and they're now satisfied. They're saying no, there seem to be no problems whatsoever, so that suspension has in fact been lifted. Now obviously this will come as a major relief to Sri Lanka, because again that suspension of, let's say, which had been put in place by the ICC was or had in fact put under threat a lot of things, including their participation in ICC events and potentially even the hosting of the 2026 T20 World Cup, which they will be co-hosting with India. They could not have been either taking part in or hosting such events if they were, let's say, if that suspension continued. In fact, the Under-19 World Cup was also moved from Sri Lanka due to that very reason. There was talks that it would be shifted out and it would be played in South Africa. So there are definite, let's say, concerns, or there were concerns that were there if that suspension were to go on. If you're a fan of cricket and in fact a fan of Sri Lankan cricket as a whole, good news, that threat is no longer in place. That suspension has been lifted, and you'd hope that it continues staying this way, because again, I think the sport of cricket is niche enough that you don't go about threatening the future of the sport in some of the countries where it is definitely, let's say, passionately, religiously followed. So that's some good news for Sri Lankan cricket, and that's the end of this particular breaking news update. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you enjoy our work, please don't forget, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell, leave us a comment. What are your thoughts on the suspension being lifted? Also, go ahead, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTalk app, and if you're already on the channel, well, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side though, it's goodbye.